Well, Jack Antonoff is here. A little late.
Really?
But that's okay.
I'm sorry I'm late.
They were just making me crazy, so I'm glad you're here, so they'll sit down already.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm really glad you're here. And we actually met many, many moons ago, which you wouldn't remember, but...
I might. Where?
You did a show way back when I was at another place, WFNX, you did, with fun, you did...
At a bar?
At a bar.
Near the House of Blues?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we met then.
Yeah, I remember the backstage area vividly.
It was that back area,
bar,
area. Food.
Yeah. I remember that day.
It's a long time ago. Good. Well, you have a good memory.
Good to see you again.
It's really good to see you again. You know, and although we didn't really speak then, or I've never really interviewed you, everything I've read about you or watched about you, you seem like a really good guy.
You think?
Yeah, kind of honorable, nice, do the right thing, grounded. Am I so off the mark, or am I?
I don't know. It's hard. I mean, do you think you're a good person? It's hard to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like,
do.
You think you're a good person?
Yeah.
But do you struggle with it, or do
No.
you just know you're a good person?
I try to do the right thing.
Well, like I think I'm a good person on like a broad level. Like I don't do like really crappy things, and I feel really bad when crappy things happen. But like, I don't know. It's just like a weird.
I try to put out good karma. I think you
so
do
I.
too.
Yeah, I like to do that. I like when people are nice.
I like when people are nice. I like when people do the right thing. I like when people recycle. I prefer if you didn't.
Okay, well, I was gonna say I like when people cut the crap.
Yeah. Oh, you can say crap.
Like that. Well, I was gonna say the S word.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it when people. I like when people are honest.
Yeah.
Because I think that actually like it can be hurtful, but honesty is so nice because when people are like passive or just sort of beside a point and not really direct, it can be really misleading and really horrible.
I think if you tell it like it is,
Yeah.
then it's okay. And if you always do that, then people know you're right on. You're not wishy-washy. I hate that wishy-washy. Anyway.
I hate that.
But you seem like a good dude, so thanks.
You seem like a really good person.
Okay, well, good. Hey, we're connecting. I like that. So I really like your record. Now, I want to tell you, when you announced that you had a record was last year, February 18th.
Yeah, well, I announced the song, album, project, the whole thing.
February 19th, we started playing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So we have been huge supporters.
That's so cool.
And so it was sort of, did you announced that you had music, but you weren't signed to a label then, right?
I was.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. So I made the whole album, conceived the whole project, signed to a label, did all this stuff before anyone knew about it. Not because I had this like big idea of it being a secret. It wasn't like an aesthetic choice. It was because nowadays people are so focused on crap. They're so like if you look at a circle, like if the center is the most important thing and that's the music or the art, like everyone's kind of looking at other parts of what's going on. It's just the way the internet works. So I thought I had to give music first.
So you just had all your ducks in order.
Yeah, but I didn't know what music would come first until I finished the album because the first song is like the entry into the album, so you have to hear the whole body of work. So it was just like one day I was like, oh God, if I want to put out music first and I have to finish the album to put out music first, then oh my God, I have to make a whole album and
too much
define
pressure.
This whole thing before saying a word.
Well, I think I Want to Get Better was a great first single. I think that was a good release to do. Knowing the whole album now.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me also lyrically to put something out like that was really weighty.
So let's talk about that a little bit. You wrote that in Malaysia?
I worked a bunch.
So you wrote the record all over the world. While
Yeah.
you were touring, you wrote the record. Now, did wherever you ended up or you were working on it, did that bring anything to the record? Or was it just yet another hotel room?
It didn't bring anything specific to the album. What it brought to the album was the idea of being away from home, being isolated, being in like a hotel room, being jet lagged, kind of being out of my body and trying to like get back into it by working. But it's not like I was in Malaysia, so like local Malaysian music influenced it, or I was in Australia, so
or you ate a good meal somewhere and you're like, oh, I.
No, it was the opposite. It was like me in my room, like trying to order, a version of American food from room service, just working on the album.
Don't you hate when you're in a foreign place and you have no idea what you're eating?
It really bothers me. Well, that's the problem is like food is such a source of comfort when you're on tour. And when you like go to like Europe and there's mayonnaise and everything, all your comfort goes out the window.
Or I found when I was in Germany, everything looked like a Wiener Schnitzel.
Everything is
like
a Wiener Schnitzel,
with like peppercorns. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it. It drove me bananas.
There's nothing. It's tough, and then your body just feels slightly strange and off because you're not having like the basic things that make you feel like you're living in your body.
And I don't like tubular meat. I'm just saying.
Who does?
I really.
Because they make it in a gross way.
Yeah, I know.
We all know they like jam it in.
And there's like toenails and
it
stuff
comes
in there.
slowly
Yeah,
out, yeah.
I'm not.
I like
not
a baked
into it.
potato.
Baked potato's good. You
Piece
know
of
what?
corn.
You know what's really good? When you were in the UK, did you have a jacket potato?
No, but what is that, like a loaded big potato?
It's a baked potato with vegetarian chili on it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's
You can
nice.
get that at Wendy's.
Oh, I didn't know. Good to know. Haven't been there in forever.
Stop by. You could you can eat great even late, I think there.
Really?
Is that the wrong slogan?
Could be. I'm not sure. I don't.
I don't get paid for this crap.
No. Let's talk a little bit about your record. I really like the record. I will tell you my favorite song, and then we can discuss. Shadow is my favorite song on this record.
Oh, cool.
I really, but I feel like when I listen to people's music, and you might do the same, do you overanalyze it a little bit, or you? And I don't think you can help it a little bit, where your experiences, like I experienced your record different than when you wrote it because it came from you. But
That's a good thing.
yes,
That's how it's supposed to happen. You release an album, you give all the control to the listener, and then they redefine it.
So the music's really happy on this record, but I find some of the lyrics a little dark. I like them.
Yeah.
And it's a nice sort of juxtaposition there.
I like that. I thought about that a lot when I was writing the album. That it doesn't have to be as basic as like this song is about a really dark experience or about anxiety and depression, so it needs to sound like that. It can be this weird mix where, my favorite songs are like, are you a Robin fan? You guys
Dino
know?
is.
Yeah. Robin's last album is amazing because she has all these songs, like a song like Dancing on My Own. It's like it plays in clubs, it plays at parties, and people just like bop around and dance to it. It's like great beat and really cool synth parts. And the lyrics are so dark and so sad. And it's beautiful because it's like you could literally, I was in the hospital. It was a really profound experience as far as songwriting goes. I think 3 or 4 years ago, I had a really bad pneumonia. I was in the hospital for 5 days. I didn't hear music for 5 days, which might not sound interesting, but if you think about it, you hear music every day of your life. When was the last time you didn't hear music?
Well, I've been doing this for 30 years,
But
so
but it's just everywhere. It's in the car. It's everywhere. You always hear music. I didn't hear music for 5 days. It was unbelievably strange. My mom brought me my phone, which has music on it, and the first song I put on, it wasn't like In My Life. It wasn't Dream On by Aerosmith. It wasn't like my favorite Tom Waits record. It wasn't Neil Young. It was Dancing on My Own by Robin, a song that somewhere in Ibiza in that moment someone was probably like grinding to. And I was in a hospital bed weeping to it from the lyrical content, and it gave me this amazing idea of like, wow, like cry to it or dance to it. Like that is a really great song.
Well, I think, and also listening a lot to the record, a lot about relationships, people, love, and I find that I'm listening to the music, but yes, trying to concentrate on the lyrics, and then I, of course, internalized it and made it all about me. But
you should. That's what's special about it. That's what's amazing about making albums. You make an album. Let's say you work on it for 2 years. You have all the control in the world, like absurd, obsessive control, like going in, looking at the files, tweaking every snare or hi-hat sound, all the way to like working on lyrics and vocal takes. And then one day you release the album, and in a split second, the second it goes on iTunes and it goes in stores, in a split second, you go from having this insane control to zero control. And it's terrifying and it's awesome. And then everyone else redefines it and they tell you what it is. And then the way people redefine the songs then redefines it for you. It's not like a process that you're immune to.
well, yeah, everyone has that breakup record, that love record, that record to work out to. Like everyone experiences music differently. How could you not?
Yeah.
We're all here differently. But anyway, I do like your record.
Thank you.
I do find that I sort of overanalyze the lyrics while I really like the beat.
What do you overanalyze?
I just try to get into your head, which I was trying to be like, okay, wait, is this a relationship? Was this with somebody? Was he used? Did somebody like sleep with him and dump him? Like, like I just
Most of the songs are about myself. Like a lot of songs that like Reckless Love, or like that's a song, for example, that sounds like it's about like a terrible relationship, but it's about the way I treat myself. So a lot of it's very introspective. Like I think it's fascinating how horrible we can be to ourselves. Like the way, I mean, you can probably relate to this. I think everyone can. The voice in your head, the way you talk to yourself, you'd probably never talk to another human being that way.
No, because you're a lot harder on yourself.
Yeah, but it's amazing that we can't, like, if you're anxious or if you're having panic attacks or if you're going through a hard time, so weird that we can't talk to ourselves the way we would talk to a friend.
Well, that's why you have a friend.
True.
That's why
like,
you
I don't need friends.
Yeah, but you do.
Yeah, I talk to myself in a wonderful way.
I'll give you my number. You can call me when you're really down and out. We're talking to Jack Antonoff, Bleachers, doing a sold-out show at the Paradise tonight. You just did a great video, a commercial. Tell me a little bit about that. It looks really fun. Was it fun to make?
It was, because it was a day in the life of us. It was like waking up on the bus, going to get food, going to a music store, going to a show, kind of getting things together, playing the show. It was cool. I like things that exist in mainstream that are honest and just are what they are. Like it would have been, I wouldn't want to do anything that was like, we want to do this thing of you in the studio with your entourage and all this like crazy stuff going on. Then you're at a party. It's like, well, I don't do that crap. So it's like, it was nice to just film us being us.
Did they come to you and say, we'd like to do this? Is that how it worked out? And did you have any say in how it was? Or did they show you like the storyboards or whatever?
No, we talked, they had an idea and I got on the phone with the director and it was pretty like simple. He was like, what kind of stuff do you do every day? And I was like, ran through it. I was like, well, we might go to a guitar store and, get some things fixed. We'd probably, if we were in LA, probably get Mexican food. And he was like, okay, and just basically wrote it down, and then we just shot all those things.
Is that your favorite food, is Mexican food?
It's not my favorite food, but in Los Angeles it is, because I live in New York, and it's very strange because there's a very large Mexican population, but the food isn't nearly as good as it is in Los Angeles.
Do you eat at the Carnegie Deli a lot when you're home?
I love the Carnegie Deli.
It's my favorite.
It's amazing.
I mean, you can get a sandwich bigger than your head.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Which is tough in my case because it's a large face.
Well, not that bad.
It's a big old face.
So I want to talk a little bit about what you do for the homeless shelters tonight. If you're going to the show, you are asking people to bring warm hats.
Yeah.
You have been an incredible spokesperson for people who need a voice. I really think it's amazing and great how people like yourself, people who do charity, people who are in the public eye, who can have the dialogue.
It's important.
It
because
is.
if you're at a dinner table and you're speaking to 4 people, it's important. If you're on Twitter and you're speaking to 100,000 people, it's important. It's kind of the same level of importance.
But the dialogue that you're opening up is really important for people to understand. And again, people come from all different places.
Yeah.
And if someone really likes your music, but they came from a home which isn't very open,
Totally.
you're now having that dialogue with them.
Well, that was my experience.
And kind of opening their mind.
Growing up, listening to like a lot of punk music where there was a lot of politics involved in it, and I found out about a lot of things through music that I wasn't taught growing up.
Were you brought up in a liberal home?
Very liberal, but just you find out things through if you think an artist is interesting and making good work,
you read up about them. Of course,
Yeah.
we didn't have the internet back then.
Well, it's harder to find, but there's a lot of ways there's a lot of simple ways that we can do good. Like tonight, there's a need for warm hats at an LGBT shelter here, and that's such a simple, tiny thing that can be done. Like I grew up going to shows where everything was like sponsored by Food Not Bombs, and the way you got into shows at fire halls and Legion halls was like you had to bring like canned goods or like something like that.
But
like,
that's still important too because people have to eat.
it is, but I'm saying it was part of the culture. It was like it just went hand in hand, like music and politics and trying to like be a little bit better than you could be.
Was there someone in your life or an experience that you had that made you want to speak out for the LGBTQ community?
Not really. It's just more what's happening now.
See, this is why I think you have good karma.
Oh, thanks.
I do.
It's just it's happening right now. If there was any community that had less rights, if it was Jewish people, if it was
Well, it's always
people,
Jewish
yeah.
people. Listen, are you kidding me?
If
Hello?
it was people with blue hair, if it was people who have one leg, whatever it is, there's always, right now there's a community of people that have less rights, and so it's all of our jobs. 'Cause it's weird if you think about it, if one kind of person has less rights, then we don't have equal rights. Just some of us have more rights, and that's kind of a funny thing. Well, it's not.
It's
funny.
a little lopsided.
It's terrible. So it's been a great couple of years in that department. But when you look at it, like at first it was like, I thought a lot about marriage equality and things like that. And then you look at like the trickle down of the issue, like you go all the way to the bottom as bad as it gets. And it's like someone growing up in their house, they're gay or they're trans or something, and they're kicked out of their home.
Which
and
I
they're
can't
homeless.
understand. We had this huge conversation last week, everybody in the office.
Well, like being disowned.
I can't imagine any parent disowning their child for that, for anything really.
You should go to jail. If you kick your child out of their home for no cause, you should literally go to jail.
Now,
What's the difference between that and beating your child? It's probably like it's abuse.
Yeah, but I can't even wrap my head around it.
I can't either.
So, I mean, thank God
But
for
the
you.
statistics are amazing, and that's part of like the shelters we're working with. So, 40% of kids on the street are LGBT. That statistic exists because a lot of them are being kicked out
I'll
of their
take
homes.
some in.
You should, right?
I would.
They're out there.
My boys would love it. You know.
But it's there's a difference. Obviously, anytime a kid's on the street is terrible, but there's a big difference between someone who's on the street because they're involved in bad things versus someone who's on the street because they don't have a home because of who they are.
Because their parents kicked them out.
Difference there. So
I'd like to whap the parents.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
They really should be prosecuted. Like, how is that any different than illegally like hitting your kids?
Yeah, I don't know. It freaks me out. It's
kind of worse.
I think it's horrible. We're talking with Jack Antonoff, Bleachers, sold-out show at the Paradise. The record is Strange Desire. How did you get Yoko Ono on the record?
I asked her. It's weird. There's no great
She's
story.
cute.
She's so cute. She's very small.
Little.
Yeah. She's exactly what. She's not one of these people that you meet and then it's like, oh, this person is so not like they are in the public eye. Like she was full Yoko. She was totally Yoko.
Yeah.
Bizarre and wonderful and everything. She came in and I had this idea for the song I wanted her to be on, and she was just like, let me just do it. Let me get the ideas out. And she goes in there, and the first thing she does is scream as loud as she can into the mic, and she like blows all the compressors. The engineers are like freaking out, and then she starts talking, and then she starts making noises, and then she's singing. It was very like, I love these people. Yoko's an example of someone who is constantly challenging like what is and isn't art, and making you think a lot in that capacity. So that's kind of what she did on the album. She did all this stuff. She did like 20 minutes of it, and then I took it home. Everyone had the flu that day in the studio, so I went home, and then I went through the file and just started like cutting out pieces and basically put this on together. At
one point when you were watching Yoko Ono sing, did you start cracking up?
No, it was just very surreal. And I also really I love Yoko as an artist more than just as like a public figure. Like I think she's so fascinating and does really bizarre, fascinating work. It was just very surreal.
It's been really nice hanging out with you, and I could talk forever, but Adam's going to want to come and do his show.
No, keep going.
It's okay?
All
right.
He said it's cool.
It's all right? All right, well then, fine.
Adam gave us the go-ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't care. All right, so a couple more things. So your girlfriend, Lena Dunham, I really like. I think she's really smart and sassy. I'm reading her book right now.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, no, I think she's awesome. Although I have to say, while I'm reading the book, I feel like she's talking to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Like I can hear her voice in my head. Which is very strange. But I have this to ask, and I am dying to ask you this. So, do you watch Girls?
Of course.
Okay. So, what is it like for you as you're watching the show and your girlfriend is completely naked on TV?
It feels oddly separate.
Really?
It really does. Like, I feel like whenever, like, in the past when people would be like, what's it like to do, like, a sex scene? And they're like, well, it's different. It's not, it's like just a separate thing. You're like, that sounds like crap. But, like, it seems like totally separate. Like, that's her work. And it's all part of it, and I just feel like really it's oddly easy to just not think about it in a weird way.
I mean, has your mother ever called you and been like, "Oi, Kavalt, she was completely naked today"? Like,
she may have said that. She doesn't say it to me, but I'm sure she said it to other people.
So
she knows better to say it to me because I would just snap.
What are you doing for that? Well, listen, I love the show Girls, but I always have said, even before I knew I was going to meet you, I wonder what it's like for you to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't like watch it in like
analytical
with lots of people. Like I kind of watch it alone or with her, so it's not like I don't really see reactions. I guess it might be weird if I had to watch it with other people.
Oh, like your band?
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah, that'd be really weird.
And they'd be like, your girlfriend's like squatting there, going to the bathroom in this episode, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be strange. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that'd be on. That's too close for comfort, maybe, with your bandmate. Some things you don't want to share. And that would be one of them. What else do I want to ask you? I think we're good. I think I just like hanging out with you.
Yeah.
But I know you have things to do, and I see Paul looking on his phone, and I have some other things I would like you to do. So I want to say thank you so much for coming up to Radio BDC. I certainly appreciate it.
Thanks for supporting this since the inception. That means a lot to me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Good karma, my friend. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Good karma. So I'm going to play Shadow.
Oh, cool.
Because I can.
Because you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely. Next time you come up, you're in town, please come up and hang out with us. We would love it.
You guys are the best.
Okay. It is Bleachers, Shadow, Jack Antonoff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.